It was number one for Wet, 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 and the song, of course, is Love Is All Around from the soundtrack of 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Delighted to say now we're joined by the drummer, Tommy Cunningham. Oh, my producer, Luke, just did the best impression of your lovely voice. It was ever so nice. So if you get bored of speaking to people, just phone us up and I'll lend you Luke for an hour if you fancy.
It sounds like fun.
Bless you. Listen, does it still make you shudder now? I mean, we mustn't reveal what year it was, but we can say sort of it's 20 years plus now. Does it still give you a shudder, or do you love hearing it?
What happens now, and this is the God's honest truth, is when I hear Love Is All Around, I don't hear Wet, Wet, Wet. I don't listen to it and think, oh, that's Marty singing it, or that's Graham playing bass, or myself on drums. I hear it the same way as everyone else hears it. It's just a song that now belongs to the fabric, to the background. It's the musical backdrop to our lives. You know, it's up there. And it sits in that fabric along with so many other classic songs. I don't think of it as being ours. I think of it as being everyone else's. And that's what I hear. I hear the same as everyone else. It's just, there's that song that everyone knows. As soon as you say, I feel it in my fingers, I feel it in my toes, everyone gets it straight away.
Wowza. So, at the time, did you have any idea, when they sort of said, do you fancy recording this? How did it work? Who came to you with the idea?
The movie had been finished, and there was a contract signed, believe it or not, with Sting and Elton John, who were going to do the song that went with the movie. But there were songs within the film, and they wanted some bands to record those songs to simply go on the soundtrack. And we went in for one day into a recording studio, and we had a choice of 3 songs. One was Barry Mann. I'll always said no to that straight away. The second one was It's a Lovely Day, and because it had that big long note vocal in it, Marty was like, oh, we should do that one. And then we had this little obscure 1960s song, Love Is All Around. Mm-hmm. And the reason we chose that is because it was so empty. There was an opportunity for us to put a stamp on it and make it something different. And that's all we did. We had fun with it for about 8-9 hours in the studio, and the rest became history. We thought it was a B-side. We thought it was going to be like, yeah, just a little song to put on the B-side, and, you know, a little moment to fill a day. And it turned out to be a world beater.
An extraordinary thing to be number one for, 15 weeks, the second longest serving number one of all time. Do you reckon you would have broken the record? Because it was you that stopped it going on sale, wasn't it? It was Wet, Wet, Wet that said enough's enough.
We did. There was 2 reasons for that. One is that the kind of cynical side of it, we knew the sales were starting to drop, that it had peaked, and it was starting to annoy everyone. But the second reason really was that it changed the people's perception of Wet, Wet, Wet. We went from being a band of musicians, a group, you know, all 4 together, to being our singer being singled out, paparazzi, you know, front page headlines. Got to remember, this was during the era of News of the World and photographers in bushes. And we didn't like the celebrity. We tried to avoid celebrity, but that song really thrust our singing into the kind of celebrity world.
Wow, and it was kind of almost a way of protecting Marty from what was going on and keeping yourself as a band.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. That was the reasoning behind it. We had about 4 or 5 meetings over the previous months saying, not again. Seriously, is it going to do it again? Yep. Who on earth is still buying that song? But what we were noticing is we couldn't go and do any more work. We couldn't get into the studio to go and do new songs. Everything we'd ever done was being overshadowed. And at the same time, the pressure that was on us from kind of a personal life point of view, we had to just sit down and say, we need to stop this, because this is going to destroy everything that we've spent 10 years trying to build up. See,
the extraordinary thing is, I mean, you're still going strong now. Big tour, big arena tour actually next year, which is bringing you to Birmingham in February. If we can give that a little plug.
Nice plug there. Yes.
Yes, you're welcome. Do you think you'd sort of still be together and touring had you not sort of put a stop on it and said we need to get rid of Love Is All Around and take ourselves out of the spotlight again?
No, I think all bands have a shelf life. Now, I know that we're back together. That's more to do with being mature and growing up. Bands naturally start off as young men, aged 17, 18. If you're lucky enough to have success, then the big wheels start turning and off you go at 100 miles an hour, and it doesn't really stop. And what happens in that period is you're concentrating on your career, but you're forgetting how to live a normal life. You're always on the go. You're always trying to sustain or increase your kind of success. What happens naturally with all bands is they get to a point and the individual members start growing up, I guess, and start saying, do you know, I don't want to every day for the next 40 years always be thinking, what's the next single? What's the next interview? So what happens with bands is they naturally break up. They naturally come to an end point. And then with us, 7, 8 years after we've all split up and kind of fallen out the way that all bands seem to do, is we sit down and we actually go, we had something special, and if we control it properly, which means can we go and release records when we feel like it, can we tour when we want to, and not have to always have that pressure of building a career, then you can come back together. And we've managed it. We've got this balance going where Marty can do his theatre, Graham can do his solo stuff, I can sit up in Glasgow bringing my family up and be very happy with it. And then once every year or every couple of years, we all get together and say, right, well, Wet, 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 and we, and I think the name Wet, 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 and I guess the real thing is the songs that we released over that 10 years, they resonate with people. They still want to come along and share the excitement of a live show with us. So yeah, that's why we're back on the road next year. Yeah.
And still enjoying yourselves while you're at it as well, and you're all sort of still pals.
I feel as if I'm 14 years of age when I'm on that stage. It's so exciting.
Oh, bless you. That's got to be the most important thing. If you enjoy what you do and you never work a day in your life, do you?
Yep, that's it. We've been incredibly lucky, and we know we're lucky. We're always kind of pinching ourselves. Just a couple of weeks ago, we done a gig down in Portsmouth in front of 20,000 people, and we just, at one point, we all looked at each other on stage. Again, it was love is all around. You just kind of go, look at this. This is special, It's no longer lighters. Now it's phones that are held up, isn't it? All the phones are all swaying back and forward.
That's a weird thing. Yeah, it is a weird thing. I can't get my head around that. But, it's 21st century. If you're still rocking it, you've still got it. Listen, Tommy, thanks so much for speaking to us today. Tommy Cunningham. Oh, bless. He's one of my favourite people ever to speak to. What a lovely bloke. Tommy from Wet, 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 then.